Dan Moskal here, and in this video we are going to look at some work we are about to perform a client. So this is for Jolie Moskal. She is a mental health therapist in the Columbia, South Carolina area, and we are going to, this is a WordPress website. We're going to go ahead and just completely redesign this. In a sense, we are going to, this is a free theme. We're going to put on a Genesis theme and we're probably going to use the news theme, but I'm going to show you how easy switching a website is, including keeping my mom's lovely fuchsia color that she is absolutely in love with, the dark purple and this light pink or purple, and she likes these flowery banners. So we're going to keep all that stuff the same, but we're going to change the actual theme, and we're going to change the design of it, and we'll probably even change the sorry, I'm spacing on the name, the structure, make it a little bit more search engine friendly, so she's more likely to show up for couples counseling when people in Columbia, South Carolina search for couples counseling. Whether they're searching for just couples counseling or couples counseling Columbia, South Carolina. This would obviously apply to your area if you're not in the Columbia, South Carolina area. But the idea would be her site and her page right there about couples counseling would show up, and she would get natural free organic traffic. If she wanted to show up here, this is all paid pay-per-click traffic. And it looks like she shouldn't have too much trouble because there doesn't look to be too much competition. When you see yellow pages, and a lot of the healthcare searches seem to be rife with this, where it's just a website after another website just listing different psychologists or therapists or relationship counselors. But it's just listings. Like, it doesn't actually provide you any information. It just gives you people's names and their phone numbers, just like the yellow pages. One website after another website after another website of listings is not as helpful as somebody that's actually talking about the type of couples counseling that you can get in Columbia, South Carolina if you're searching Columbia, South Carolina, which is a much more higher likelihood to convert into sales when they have people search an area after it, sales, whether it be online or clients coming in and signing up. And if you have an average client stay with you for 6 months even, you're talking about quite a bit of money in the mental health therapy industry. So let's take a real quick look at what the current traffic is. This is looking at Stat Counter, and kind of the big key, we're going to look at Stat Counter, and we're going to also put in Google Analytics. But Stat Counter is what I usually use the most, and the reason why I do it is because it gives me all three search engines statistics. But we're going to check out the recent keyword activity. So she's showing up in Bing under Jolie Moskal. She's number 1 and number 3 and number 5 with a different website. And then there's her LinkedIn page. But we're going to also create a Facebook page for her, so she'll show up with her Facebook page, because Jolie Moskal has more information about Jolie Moskal and more relevant information about who Jolie Moskal is, whether it's on her Facebook page or her LinkedIn page, than healthgrades.com or superpages.com or any of these, any other website. Like, Jolie Moskal is the most relevant person to talk about Jolie Moskal. Let's look at some of these other terms. These are what people are actually typing into Google. I don't know how she's showing up for Indian Chino. I don't know what that is, or why she's showing up for that, but she is getting rankings for that. Therapist, South Carolina, Jolie Moskal is another one she's showing up for. I just want to see what some of the other websites are showing up, and what one easy way is you know, so her she doesn't have a ton of traffic, and it looks like most of it is either her telephone number or variations of her name, such as joliemoskal.com or the MALP, all that blah blah blah. Uh, and on a side note, where it says encrypted search now, Google Analytics will actually show you that information, which is part of the reason why you kind of need to use both of them. I think Yahoo and Bing have some tracking devices too, but I'm not familiar with those. So go do a search for your name, especially if you are a local business or individual offering, healthcare or any sort of professional services. And check out some of these future YouTube videos. We're going to really get started here tomorrow on September 9th, peeling this back and moving these websites and giving it a real professional design. Like I said, that's going to be looking at Genesis and making it search engine friendly. So she is getting some of this traffic because this is all free traffic showing up in the search engines. And like I said, if you can get even one client a month that works into, let's say you have an average $60, let's just say $50 profit for when you have a client, no matter what your service is. If you have a client that comes to you once a week, 4 times in a month, we're talking about $200 in a month. Let's say they stay with you for 6 months. You're talking about traffic and one client being worth $1,200 over their lifetime or their first 6 months, however long they stay with you. You know your business metrics better than I do, but we're talking about some real dollars and cents if you can even just get slivers of this traffic. And the reality is you should be getting the majority of the traffic if you're Jolie Moskal with a similar situation like this, and especially in a small town like Columbia, South Carolina. There's maybe 150,000-ish people in this general area. Um, so these local searches, especially local stuff, there's just, when you're competing with 8 different websites that are all yellow pages and super pages, it makes me drool. So I am very anxious to get started and show you along the way this week. And on a side note, I'm also creating a 7-step checklist to help you with SEO and help some of the folks I've started working with here. So this is Dan Moskal. Please comment, leave any questions below. You can also run over to Amazon and grab a copy of our book, How to Create a Website Easy Button. Check out some of these videos coming up in the future, and please like this video, share it with your friends, family, and colleagues. Have a great afternoon.